This is the Finnish Football Show. I'm Mark Wiltshire and joined today again by the one and only Mr. Keke Mullari. Hi, Keke.
Terve. Mark, listen, I'm glad you're here, mate, because I've been hearing all this stuff about double-decker buses and Ilves fans, and I'm just glad you're safe, mate. That's all.
Oh, you've gone in there two-footed with the big hot breaking news from today. So yeah, it was it was a beautiful thing yesterday. A game of counter-attacking football from Asiko, and we let in an equaliser with about 5 minutes or so to go, and then scored the winner right at the end, and then had to suffer 5 minutes of 5 minutes of injury time. But it was great stuff. But there was some bother outside after the game where. So this double-decker bus, it's an old London bus.
What's a London bus doing in Seinäjoki in the first place?
It runs a shuttle from the town centre to the stadium a couple of times before the game. It's great. It's a nice little bit of nostalgia for me.
Yeah.
And
ding ding.
I don't know exactly what happened. I didn't see it, but there was some talk about this bus and the Ilves fan bus were near each other. The bus.
A bus off? They were having a bus off.
They were having a bus off. And this shuttle bus kind of moved a bit too close to the fans. The fans reacted, and there was some misbehaviour from the Ilves fans, sort of banging on the bus and sort of having a go at the driver, and one of the front windows of the bus got smashed. So I'm reporting this secondhand, so I'm not pointing the fingers at anyone. I don't know for sure what happened, but that's what's been reported.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're safe and sound. But listen,
I'm fine. I didn't know anything about it until I got home later and saw some news.
Some of the photos that were coming out of the stadium, it looks like the Ilves fans had put on a decent show inside the ground. So, shame that there was a bit of unsavoury business outside. But listen, I'm all for fan culture and lots of vibrant colours inside the ground.
It was great, that corner. They kind of. It looked like they filled that corner, and that's always good. They were loud, but they were very naughty during the game because they had pyros, and we know that pyros are not allowed nowadays. So somebody's going to get their wrists slapped. We basically had, when we went away to Yarrow and to Vepsu, we basically had the rubber glove on and the whole finger everywhere to make sure there was nothing hidden, and there were a lot of pyros yesterday. It always looks good at football, but it's not allowed.
No.
So I think that's 2 strikes, those naughty Ilves fans. But we have
naughty old Rasmus,
Rasmus and Jamie and their mates up to shenanigans.
You expect no less from them lot.
Right, we're not here to talk about Premier League, Veikkausliiga, because you don't follow the Veikkausliiga unless we share in our stories in WhatsApp. So you are our travelling Huuhkajat fan, and the Finland national team's got a couple more World Cup qualifiers coming up. So we're
back in action.
Yeah, at home to Lithuania on Thursday the 9th, and away to Netherlands on Sunday the 12th.
Yeah.
Are you travelling this time?
Not this time, mate. Okay. Not this time. Listen, it'll be interesting to see what happens after Thursday's game. But yeah, sadly, I did look into it. I was thinking of dragging Kimi across to the Netherlands on the Eurostar. But
that'd be something, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I know, man, and it's a shame because I told him I was thinking about it, and then had to dash his hopes when it didn't quite work out.
Yeah, it's better not to tell the kids what you're thinking at any time, but certainly if you're planning a treat.
But no, there'll be other opportunities. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the games, mate, and I'll do my best to catch them on the box.
Good stuff. Do you want to start by running through the squad, because this is quite a. I mean, we've seen it through this year since Jakob Friis took over, but this was quite a big change, I would say, from the last squads.
It was, mate. Yeah, we've spoken recently over the last 2 qualifiers about how there's been a bit of a sea change and a shift and a look to the younger guys. And yeah, we sort of chatted over whether it was a permanent thing or whether injuries had put people out and whether they would come back in. But it seems to be that this tidal wave of change is not stopping. So yeah, I'll happily run through the squad for you, mate. We've got
Yeah, let's do
Jesse
that. Let's
Joronen.
do that, and then have a look because there was an interview, an article on the Palolita website from Fries that gives a little bit of his perspective as well.
Cool. So yeah, 3 goalkeepers: Jesse Joronen of Palermo, Viljami Sinisalo of Celtic, and Lucas Bergstrom of Real Mallorca. Obviously, Lucas Radetsky's still injured after that the injury sustained with Monaco. So I'm obviously he would be there if fit, but he's injured. So those are the 3 keepers. Pretty sure we can chat about what we might be able to expect, but Jesse Joronen's been playing really, really well for Palermo. Saved a penalty yesterday, actually, and the rebound, only to see the second rebound turned in by one of his own defenders.
Oh.
But yeah, he's been playing really well since he signed for Palermo, so no qualms there. Into the defence, got Robert Ivanov with Asteras Tripolis in Greece, Miro Tenho of Djurgården, Vili Koski of NK Istra. Toni Miettinen comes in from Mjällby, who are sitting top.
He's having
of
a great
the
season there,
Allsvenskan.
isn't he? So
He is, yeah, and like this, like everyone's really turned on about Mjällby, who are going to win, who will look like they're going to win the Allsvenskan. This little town of about 3, is it less than that? I think
it's a tiny little fishing village, isn't it? And it's been
it.
been everywhere in all the news.
Yeah, so yeah, Toni Miettinen comes in, Jeri Uronen of Atromitos Athens, Nikolai Alho, who's Robert Ivanov's teammate over there in Greece, Adam Stahl, Djurgårdens, who provided an assist in their most recent game. Juho Latenmäki of FC Norgesland comes in. He's raised a few eyebrows. He's been doing, FC Norgesland are quite famous for putting their trust in youth and developing younger players. Oliver Antman was there previously. So there's been he's been one to watch recently. Juho Latenmäki comes straight into the A national team. We've got Matti Peltola, who struggled a bit, it must be said, on his last international appearances of DC United. Adam Mahiev, who on the other side of the coin made a really good debut performance and looks like to be the full package.
I'm going to try not to fanboy too much over him this episode. I'll give the guy a bit of peace.
Yeah. Santeri Vannanen of Rosenborg. Leo Volta, who scored 2 today for Sirius, and people were bemoaning his omission from previous squads. But yeah, he's in this time. Anssi Suhonen, who's on loan at Ersters. Kain Kairinen from Sparta Prague. Nathan Skuta of FC Kaiserslautern. Oliver Antman of Rangers. Topi Keskinen, also in Scotland with Aberdeen. Oiva Jukala of FC Ilves. Jolle Pojanpalo from Palermo. Benjamin Chelman, who can't stop scoring for Hannover 96. Teemu Pukki, HJK. Adrian Svanbak from BK Häcken, who scored today as well for Häcken. Dual nationality, I believe, Svanbak. So it's really important that we get his first cap, get him in the men's A national team, get that cap and get him locked down for Finland. Kasper Tenho of Leuven and Robin Löd from Minnesota United. And that is your Huuhkajat squad.
Yeah, and just a couple of comments from the Palolita website about there being 6 changes from the last squad, and Leo Valta and Kasper Terho coming back in, having previously made their debut. But obviously, you mentioned them: Toni Miettinen, Juho Latenmäki, Nathan Skuta, and Adrian Svanbak being sort of potential debutants or first time call ups. Anyway.
And mate, listen, all of them have been playing like really quite well for their clubs. Like that. For those of the listeners who follow the Instagram, they'd have seen these players popping up week in, week out, because they're the ones who we're getting the content out for, because they're the ones providing the assists or scoring the goals. So they've earned their place, I suppose.
Yeah, and this is what's really kind of valuable about what you do, following these guys and sort of sharing their exploits on Instagram because you've just dropped in like two or three players that um, for the for those who are listening to the podcast, Keke just pulled a proud face there at a bit of praise. Um, like you've given updates on two or three players what they've done today because you're following these guys, so that's really really useful. Um, yeah, I think in this article from Jakob Friis, he mentions that Lucas Radetski's coming back but still injured. That Fredrik Jensen, Arttu Hoskonen, and Daniel Hawkins are also injured, so they're not selected. And I think that's good to hear because I was thinking about that. I was thinking, did Hoskonen go to Stockport and just disappear off the radar? But
Yeah,
clearly not. And he's playing in League One, the same as
Niskanen.
yeah, Ilmari Niskanen, yeah, exactly, who's at Exeter, and isn't in the squad, but isn't sort of necessarily out of the picture forever. And missing seeing Daniel Hawkins as well because we said last time how exciting he's been for the Huuhkajat. So hopefully they get back into the run, get back to fitness and get back in the running soon. But there's two people, like core players from the last 5 or 6 years that are not in the squad. One of them is mentioned in the Palolito article here, which is Glenn Kamara, and Jakob Friis said basically that his situation is that he hasn't played. He's
Hmm.
undoubtedly got quality, but right now there are players available for that position who are playing regularly. So that kind of makes sense. But the other one is Rasmus Schüller,
Yeah, yeah. I
and
mean, it's a weird one. Like Rade he's been pretty much a stalwart for well ever since Tim Sparv called it a day. Really, he sort of took over that mantle, the Tim Sparv mantle, if you like, and like Rade Rade's had his critics in his early Huuhkajat career, but he really once Sparv moved on and called time on his international career, Rade really came to the fore. He added that bite in midfield, that leadership. I mean, he's the senior pro. Along with Radetsky, he's the senior pro in that team. So I remember from the Jakob Friis interview from the previous squad, they spoke about Rade had picked up a little knock and so he decided to stay in Sweden and do a bit of rehab, and that's why he didn't join the previous squad. But there hasn't been that sort of communication this time. Rade has played for Djurgården since that previous squad omission. But yeah, there's sort of whispers around that Friis is looking for a sea change, looking to the youth, looking to these younger guys to, in the interview that I believe you're speaking about, Friis said, okay, we're still hoping for a World Cup playoff spot. That's still available and open to us. We're going to have to work hard for it, but that's available. But he also said that his contract takes him up to the next Euro, and that's what he is working on. So
yeah, they
these
basically
young,
said they got their full beam headlights looking far into the future, didn't they?
pretty much,
Which is and that's what we can see with what he's been doing this year as well.
yeah, I think you're right. But like when you think about it, some of the players who we've seen come out of squads recently, I mean, Robert Taylor disappeared off the face of the earth
Mm.
after he decided not to travel for one squad. That seemed to really annoy Rive, and he was never called ever again. Jakob Friis hasn't even really mentioned Robert,
Mm.
so, but I just don't think you can close doors fully on these guys. Do you know what I mean? It's you never know what's going to happen. You never know who might pick up a knock, and then you're short in a position. You can't close the door on these guys forever. And Rasmus Schuller is certainly one. I don't think we should be closing the door. I still think he's got a lot to give the Huuhkajat. Maybe not in a 90-minute performance, but even in a leadership group, in a dressing room sense. You know what I mean? And I don't think that his name is a waste on a squad list. But you never know. He we could see him again in the future.
Yeah, and those three that we just talked about. I mean, Rasmus Schiller's 34, so you can kind of. I mean, he's never let the team down. He's friend of the show and always been very kind of helpful to us and positive towards what
Yeah.
we're doing here. And that's partly why we're so supportive. And the other reason is because he's just played so well for the Huuhkajat. But Glenn Kamara's only 29
Mm.
and Robert Taylor's 30. I find it really odd the way that Glenn Kamara's career has seemed to dip in the last 18 months or so. Like I thought when he sort of left Rangers and when he went to Leeds, I thought that could
Yeah.
be a really good place for him, but he didn't stay there. And then he went to Saudi for a short while. Oh, he
He
went
did.
to Rennes, didn't he? Sorry, then to
Yep.
Saudi and now back to Rennes. And
Back to Rent. Yep.
I don't
There
know.
were stories of not a fallout, but the coach at Rennes didn't fancy him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, taking it back as you mentioned, obviously did well for Rangers the whole Stevie G era. Picked up a championship medal. Um, Obviously, he was the victim of that vile racist abuse during his time at Rangers, and you know. I haven't spoken to Glenn. I don't hope that didn't sour his entire time there. It's a single incident in a match against in a European match. But yeah, he went to Leeds, and I honestly thought we would see the best of him there. And
Mm,
his first season there, he did okay. He did okay, but he didn't seem to stay there much longer
mm,
than that.
no.
Found himself in France. Manager comes in, doesn't really fancy him. Before you know it, he's on loan in Saudi, and now he's back in his parent club Rennes, and not what's he training with the kids or not getting a look in or what, you know what I mean? It is a bit of a bizarre one, but he needs to be. I mean, you can't really argue with Jakob Friis. He needs guys who are playing football.
Yeah, yeah,
So
no,
you can't.
absolutely. Yeah, it's not a complaint. It's just a shame because at 29 he's still got some years
Yeah,
ahead of him. And
exactly that. He
I
needs to
just want to
find a
see
club,
him,
doesn't he?
yeah, I just want to see him find a good club, play regularly and force his way back into the Huuhkajat team.
That's it. I mean, like Leeds are a Premier League side now, and I don't think maybe I'm looking for it with blue tinted spectacles, but I
Wouldn't be
don't
the
think,
first time.
of course, but I don't think that Glenn would have been out of place in that Leeds side
Mm,
in the Prem. You know what I mean? Like he's got quality. You know what I mean? But yeah, it didn't work out in France, and he needs to move. He needs to find a club and a league where he's comfortable and get playing minutes again. Because yeah, like you say, at his age, he's still got 2, 3, 4 years left to offer the national team. Hopefully,
Let's have a little look forward at these two upcoming games then, and I'll start this by with a line here that Jakob Friis said again that we treat every opponent with respect, but we're aware that the game the sort of well the next two games will be very different. You know, home to Lithuania and then away to Holland,
yeah.
and it will require different skills from our lineup. Um, and I feel that with this squad, we can meet both challenges in the best possible way. So let's talk first of all about Lithuania because we just about got a 2-2 draw in the away fixture earlier this
Yeah.
year, and I think we were quite shocked about that. Um, but Lithuania, okay, they maybe haven't had a great campaign because they've played five, drawn three, and lost two, but
That's
they've
what
been
I
nicking
say.
nicking points off of sort of lots of people in that group, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean, like it's a weird one because we obviously the Lithuania game we went 2-0 up quite quickly. I think Kairanen scored after 4 minutes, and then Boyan scored from a penalty still quite early in the first half, was it? 20 minutes or something like that. So yeah, we're thinking lovely, cruising away from home. You've got to be beating Lithuania, haven't you? If you're Finland and you've got any dreams of going to any of these major tournaments, you've got to be beating Lithuania, whether you're home or away. But yeah, they scored a worldie, didn't they? If you remember. And yeah, and got it back to 2-2, and we walked away with only a point. But I mean, when you look at their fixtures after that, they had a 0-0 away in Malta.
Yeah.
They got done 5-0 by Denmark in a friendly. Drew with Malta 1-1 at home.
Okay, so two of their draws have come against Malta and Finland. That
But
sort of says a bit more.
But Mark, then there was the Netherlands game, Netherlands at home. Where Netherlands took the lead, and then Lithuania went into a 2-1 lead, and it was sorry, they got it to 2-2, with the Netherlands, and it was quite late on. Well, gone the hour mark that the Netherlands scored the third goal, but it looked like Lithuania the draw specialists were gonna get a draw off of Netherlands as well.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So the point was that they made it a lot more difficult for
Yeah,
Netherlands than it perhaps should have been, like they did for
indeed.
us, and
Yeah,
yet they couldn't do any more than draw twice with Malta.
indeed.
Yeah,
So it's they're a funny lot. I mean, they wouldn't be the first team in the world to raise their game for a tougher opponent. Do you know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah,
So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one. But having said that, Lithuania at home in Helsinki, we need to be winning this fixture. I don't care. I don't care what's gone before, or the form in the table or whatever. Finland should be beating Lithuania at home
yeah,
in any
yeah, yeah.
match, whether that's a friendly, a competitive game, a qualifier, Nations League, World Cup, whatever it is. Finland should be beating Lithuania.
Have you any idea how the ticket sales are for this game on Thursday? Have you heard anything?
Um, no, I mean, lots of people will have bought the Kausi Kortti, so
Yes.
lots of tickets will have been sold. That is a different story to how many people are going to actually turn up.
Yeah, and the reason I asked this is because this game has been sort of dedicated as like a family and juniors game. So they got lots of activities going on around the stadium. There's kind of a like a well, let's get the right terminology here. So freestyle soccer player will be doing sort of tricks and teaching the kids
Ooh,
tricks and things like that. There'll be a magician doing close-up magic. They got loads of mascots out and around the game. So not only Booby and Helmi, but Sarioinen have got their golden raisin mascot. That's a
good.
meat and ready meal company. Lahi Tapiola's got Kamu the cat, and Viking Line's got Villa Viking going to be there. So there's going to be lots of
Lovely.
mascots, and they're going to be apparently doing a fast-paced dance show before the match.
Well, I'm glad Ville the Vikings going to be there, because my mate Ville has been texting me saying, in typical Finnish autumn style, I'm not sure if I'm going to go to the game. Do you know what I mean? I said, don't talk rubbish, just get down there. You know what I mean? So we'll see how many Villes turn up.
Yeah, and also they've now named the juniors section. They've called it the Junnu so the
There you
junior
are.
curve, at
Nice.
that far end, um, in the far corner, sort of opposite the Pohjoiskarre. So they're kind of going all out to try and attract the families and that there. So it'd be interesting to see how that works if they've
Yeah.
and also I think this Junnu Karre are going to have their own banner that the kids have
Oof.
designed. So it'd be interesting to see what's going on there. But it's good. It's good that they're doing some work to get the kids and the families. And the next generation of players are coming through, and hopefully the next generation of fans as
Fans,
well.
yeah. No, that's it. That's it, mate.
All right, so that's Thursday the 9th, and then Sunday the 12th is away to the Netherlands.
Oh, yes.
Mm.
Which is a different kettle of fish.
I suppose what do we think I mean, obviously they're a much stronger team. We have to be careful. We lost 2-0 at home, and it wasn't a bad performance. And I think we
It
took a
wasn't.
little bit of a heart from that. But the performances have been a bit up and down
Yeah.
in since then. Do we certainly hope, to be more attacking against Lithuania, and then probably the sort of 5-4-1 that we saw previously against the Netherlands?
definitely. I mean, I would like to think, whether Fries is going to experiment a little bit with the Lithuania game. Try and bloody some of these new young guns and let them play with a bit of freedom and see what they can do. But yeah, we do have to be a little bit more guarded when we go away to the Netherlands. Maybe some, I don't know how many mature heads are left in the squad,
Yeah.
but maybe if there is a couple, maybe a few more mature heads, and we're going to have to be a little bit patient, aren't we? Do you know what I mean? It's we're going to have to be patient, but you just don't listen. My heart and head are obviously two different things, and I'm the kind of guy who always goes with my heart. Do you know what I mean? But you gotta be honest and say, like, listen, if we come away from the Netherlands with a 0-0 draw, I'd be dancing in the street. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, let's just not get absolutely turned over there. To be honest.
Yeah, I mean, we've had some games. I mean, I personally, I'd like to see kind of this much more attacking. A 3-5-2 doesn't sound attacking, but if you can get the wingers down and you can get one of the
Yeah,
midfielders pushing through, then you can be attacking with five, and or 4-3-3, where we've seen in previous years some really attacking forwards, really driving at the goal and being backed up by the fullbacks or by the other midfielders. Yeah, I don't remember which game now, but one of the recent games we saw it was really defensive for about 80 to 84 minutes, and then we sort
mm,
of threw the kitchen sink at the opponent towards the end and created a bit of chaos. And it would be quite nice to see if we could do that against the Netherlands, not gifting them a nice early opening
yeah,
goal like we did like we did last time,
yeah,
and like try and hold it tight, and then maybe when you've got sort of 10 or 15 minutes left, maybe you have a go then. And I think there are experienced players in the squad. You've got Ivanov, you've got Urunen, Alho,
yeah.
um, Kairinen,
Mm,
Pohjanpalo, Chelman, Pukki, Lud. Okay, quite a few of those are forwards, and they're not all going to be on the pitch at the same time, but you do have
yeah.
those players.
Point
And
taken.
and then later in the game, you can put on a few more of the younger, fresher players and say, look, we've got 10 minutes, let's have a go.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
But I'd
the,
like
the,
to, I'd like for the Lithuania game to say, right, you've got 90 minutes, let's have a go.
That's yeah, definitely, mate. I think that has to be the attitude. To be honest, mate, I really do agree with you there. I mean, when you look at the home game, we lost 2-0 against the Netherlands. Both of their goals came quite early. I think, like you say, gifted them one on 6 minutes. The other one was 20 minutes or so. So yeah, but and if I look back over the WhatsApp messages, we're probably thinking we're in for a doing, but it didn't transpire. We settled down a bit after that, and we didn't get absolutely smashed. Do you know what I mean? So if we can, like I've said it before on the show, if we can keep it tight for the first 20 minutes and then see how it pans out, you never know. You never know. But they are going to have to be patient and soak up a lot of pressure, I would have thought. But listen, if we just have a look at their most recent performances, the Netherlands. I mean, going back to the Nations League final, was it? They had, or the last two games they had of the Nations League, they had a 2-2 draw with Spain. Again, they went toe to toe with Spain and had a 3-3 draw. Everyone knows the qualities of Spain. They beat us 2-0 in Finland. They beat Malta 8-0 in the Netherlands. Drew 1-1 with Poland, and then had that 3-2 away at Lithuania. So they've got Malta away on Thursday. Can't see anything but a victory there for them.
No.
So yeah, and then we turn up to is it Amsterdam? Yeah, I'm sure it's Amsterdam. Is it
Yes, it is.
Amsterdam?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
Johan Cruyff
Johan Cruyff Arena. Yeah, so
Arena.
we turn up to Amsterdam, and hopefully with a victory in our back pockets, and I'm sure they'll have a victory in theirs. So, but yeah, it's not going to be an easy one. I mean, let's have a look. We've been through their squad before, but yeah, there's quality all the way through it. Mark Flecken, who took over from Luque at Bayer Leverkusen in goals. You've got players, Frimpong, who's at Liverpool, Mickey van der Ven, who's at Spurs, Timber at Arsenal, like
No, they're all
Nathan Ake at Man
they're
City.
all top level pros, aren't they?
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
absolutely right.
all but one of their defenders plays in the Premier League, and the other one plays for Inter Milan in Serie A. Do you know what I mean? So it's yeah, I don't need to go through them. They're littered with talent. I mean, if yeah, you know, maybe the forward line isn't what it once was, but yeah.
We're going to keep our fingers crossed. The table as it currently sits is Group G of the FIFA 20 World Cup 26 qualifiers. Group G,
Mm.
Netherlands top, 10 points from 4 games. Poland second, 10 points from 5 games. Finland third, 7 points from 5 games. Lithuania fourth with 3 points from 5 games, and Malta bottom with 2 points from 5 games. So
Yeah.
we have to beat Lithuania to stand any chance. We've got 3 games left. They're against Lithuania and Malta, who are near the bottom, or the two bottom teams. If we're going to have any chance, we've got to get those 6 points.
Yeah.
That gives us 13. It's still going to be tight, isn't it? You know, you need Poland to do quite badly in their remaining 3 games. If we win those two, and then anything from Netherlands is a bonus, really.
Exactly that. I mean, as I said earlier, Jakob Friis has been talking about a playoff spot, and I think that's what they've looked at. They will have taken in consideration what's likely to happen in the other fixtures, and they're looking, they're saying, you know, maybe we can make a playoff spot. But yeah, listen, like you say, mate, got to beat Lithuania, got to beat Malta. The Netherlands away is a free hit, really, isn't it? As I said, if we get a 0-0, you'll see me out the front of my house with my jersey and not much else on, screaming in the street.
Whatever you do, don't put that on social media. No, we don't need to see that. All right. Is there anything else you want to say about these games, or um, the games, or about the national team, or anything?
No, listen, mate. Just as I mentioned, going through the squad, we've got skill and talent all through this squad, especially with some of these younger guys. As I said, Adam Stahl has assisted this weekend. Poyampalo has scored this weekend. Joronen has saved a penalty this weekend. Suhonen has scored an overhead kick this weekend. It's all been happening. Volta, as I said, has scored 2. You know, it's all been happening. So yeah, listen, it's there's goals there. So just got to go in there with confidence, take their club form into the national team, and don't let that shirt weigh too heavy.
Yeah, very good. I agree. I think one more thing to mention is the under 21s, the Pikkuhuuhkajat, because they've got games over the next 10 days as well. One is a qualifying match, European Euros qualifier, if you like, and that is away to Spain. Away to Spain? Yes, away to Spain. That's on Tuesday the 14th. But on Friday the 10th, they've got a bit of a secretive game against a USA under 20s team. It doesn't say where. It's a unofficial international match. I don't know quite what that means. So, it's also going to be played in Spain, but behind closed doors. Anything about that? Anything you know about that?
No, sorry, mate, but I just wanted to. There's a little bit of breaking news that's just come out. Yeah, that squad list we've just gone through has changed slightly because.
Okay, well, at least you caught it before we publish, but we'll
Yeah.
leave it. We'll leave this as a kind of postscript then.
Well, yeah. Listen, just 20 minutes ago, it's come out that Tony Miettinen has had to drop out because of a injury, and so has Oiva Jukkola. So
Okay.
Pikkarainen has come in to the squad. They've only brought one player in to replace them, and it's Juhani Pikkarainen. So yeah, of Degerfors. So yeah, bit of good job we caught that.
But he hasn't come up from the under 21 squad, has he? He's just come straight in.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, it's not completely out of date, just slightly out of date, and you caught it. You caught it just in time.
Well, no, that's it. Yeah, hot off the press.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess we'll be back in about 10 days, 2 weeks, something like
Sounds good.
that. And listener, I've got a little something up my sleeve for you as well that I'm hoping to record in the next week or so. So watch this space. And hopefully we'll be talking about 4 points for the Huuhkajat and
Oh, that
three
would be
points,
nice.
3 points for the, or maybe two, maybe 1 point for the Pikkuhuuhkajat. I think away to Spain, a point is what you're hoping for.
Mm.
Um, Keke, thanks for joining me.
No, kiitos, kiitos.
Good to see you again. And listener, thanks for joining us until the next episode of Finnish Football Show. Goodbye.